guys, welcome to Out of the Box podcast, OOTB, brought to you by Segi University. I'm your host, Humaira, and today we are diving deep into a very interesting, intriguing topic, normalizing ragging. Where now, if you're in Malaysia, you must have seen or heard of ragging where it's like, oh, just seniors having fun with juniors, but is it really that harmless? So, to dive exactly more deep into the topic, I have an amazing guest with me, Prop Datin Dr. Mariani, who is a prominent figure in Segi University, and not just Segi University. She is an absolute leader, advocate in student culture, psychology, and student well-being with a 30 years experience in child psychology. Welcome to the show, Prof.
Thank you very much.
So, as you know, our topic for today is normalizing ragging, and I'm assuming we are against it.
Yeah.
So, in your very perspective and your experience, long experience in children, education, and psychology in general, what exactly is ragging?
What exactly is ragging? I take note of what you said just now, normalizing ragging, right?
Yes.
Normalizing ragging to me, I think it happened about 20, 30 years ago. So when I was a university students, I'm an alumni of University of Malaya. I had this ragging.
Oh,
Yeah.
you had it personally?
Yes, I
Oh my
personally
God.
went through this ragging, and I can see that the seniors are so happy looking at me doing the prank that they asked me to do and doing the task that I don't really like to do, but I had to do it because they were my seniors.
It's
So
just like seniors having fun with
yeah,
juniors.
so seniors are having fun with me, looking at me, but of course I did not cry because I have in my mind that if I cry, they will be so happy. I just want to make sure that they are not happy.
Yeah.
But at least they are satisfied that I did whatever they wanted me to do. So I went through this ragging. And to me, I just feel that it is not a normal event or normal incident that seniors need to do to us. So the reason why they are doing this to me and the others, my friends as well, is to welcome us and
Is to
to
welcome.
make sure that we respect them. Okay? To me, now that being a psychologist, at that time I was not a psychologist, of course. I was more of doing my biologist. To me, I think that's not the right way to welcome people. Because to me, respect is the only true welcome.
Right.
So when
of
I
course.
say respect is the only true welcome, it is not a normal things to do. And this is not only happening during my time. When I was a senior, the junior came in, and of course the junior also went through the similar things. So it's sort of like a tradition to them. So it's a
tradition.
culture tradition for any institutional, any colleges, any university, and in fact, maybe perhaps secondary school. So it is something normal, yes, but I can say bravely that I would say that ragging is actually a toxic
Yes. Toxic, of
tradition
course.
to follow. Why? Because at the end of the day, as a student before, I had the feeling of anxiety, trauma, because whenever I bump into any of the seniors who did this task to me, who wanted me to do this task, I would just say in my heart, I don't like you, I hate you. And I would just get rid of that. So this is not something good because it really affect my socialization. And socialization is very important at any institution level. So
Yes.
ragging, yes, to some, they may take it as a norm to welcome people, but I think that's not the way. Because we
Of
are
course.
human being.
Yeah.
We are not robot. When you came into Sagi,
Right.
Did you go through this ragging?
Not for a moment, but
Not for a moment.
in my school, yes.
Yeah. So I'm happy to say that we, Sagi University, did not practice ragging
Ragging, yes.
because we from Sagi University, we practice other normal civilized activities, civilized practices to welcome whoever that will come in here, and then to make sure that they are really respected, and we provide them with the conducive environment. So this is what I can say about ragging, whether it can be considered as a norm activity, norm practices, or the other way around. So it depends on the person. If the
Yeah.
person thinks, they may have think in their mind that, okay, this is the way I would like to welcome them, to make sure that, I'm your senior, so you have to respect me. So it's a matter of hierarchy.
Of course, it's a matter of
And
hierarchy.
of course,
Yeah.
is to show their power.
Yeah.
This is
I
what
think hierarchy is everywhere you
Yes.
go. It's not just
Yes.
uni or school.
Yes,
It's everywhere.
correct. You are right.
Um, in terms of like how you said that you experienced this, right? So I would also like to share my personal experience where, no, I have never felt it in Segi, but
Very good.
yes, but in my school, because I grew up in a boarding school, so there is a culture like that where ragging slowly turns into bullying, where maybe it initially starts at like, yeah, we are welcoming you in a very rude way. It's prudent. It's not how it's supposed to be done, but it starts like that, and then it's so wrong because it kind of kills the sense of self you have within
correct.
you. And
Yeah.
when it happens repeatedly, it's no more ragging, then it's bullying. So I want to ask you, like, what do you think about this whole uh, difference between ragging to bullying, like that space? Because there's like a fine line. So, what do you think about ragging and bullying in general?
I would say that I like to use analogy first, right? That's
Right.
always my favorite. It's between apple and orange. It's a fruit.
Yeah.
It's between ragging and bullying. It's the practices.
Mm.
Whether that practices is harmless or that practices are harmful. So when we talk about ragging, I think I told you before that it was about 40 years ago. Be
Yeah.
positive, about 40 years ago, ragging has been going on. But remember, 40 years ago, we do not have any media platform as what we do have now. So all those are
Yes.
teachers to them. Okay, how can I do this ragging? What activities needs to be done? So finally, this thing will become, it's not to say a norm, but more of an intentional, more of intentional. Ragging is not intentional; it's a tradition. Somehow or other, it depends on the person whether they would like to treat it as a tradition, or maybe we would like to treat it as a toxic practices, right?
Yes.
Now, when we talk about ragging, it is a harmless, fun activity, okay?
Mhm.
But somehow it may escalate to bullying.
Bullying. Yes.
Bullying is intentional
And it's long term.
and it's a long-term
Mm.
effect. And bullying, as I can say, is also repeatedly done
Yes.
with an aggressive behavior.
And
Okay?
it can be painful.
Yes, and it can be painful. And of course, it will affect whoever encountered bullying.
Mm-hmm.
They will have to undergo psychological torture.
Help. And also they
And also, before this, they will never say, of course, it will harm our emotional.
yes.
The other new term in psychology, not really new term, but I would like to say is that our emotion can be injured.
Yes.
It's emotional injury. So when we do have emotional injury due to the repeated aggressive behavior, that is already bullying. Repeated behavior and intended behavior. Why this happens? Ragging that may lead to bullying. Why? Because it's more of now as a satisfaction to them because they are not satisfied with you. This is what I will do. Now, ragging normally is a tradition year by year. We call it yearly activity.
Yes.
yearly activity.
Yeah.
But why it is so? Because to me, the whoever is at the institutional platform, they must have the policy whether to allow ragging or not to allow ragging. Okay, fearing that ragging may lead to bullying. Because in the world nowadays, sometimes Humaira, let's say Humaira, you are pretty, you are smart, you are intelligent, right? You speak well. It may be others out there looking at you. Wow, look at her. Deep inside their heart, they may be jealousy. They may have no empathy. I said, this is what I want. This is what I wanted. This is what I wish to have. But why I cannot have it as how Humaira is having it now? So the bullying process started bit by bit.
With a sense of insecurity.
Yeah, with a sense of insecurity. And perhaps you may start having this emotional disturbance, social disturbance, and finally the mental well-being. So this is where bullying will take place, especially when we are now open with our technology, digital, everything. So it's through the cyber. One can always say, look at Humaira. Who do you think you are? And look at that professor. Does she think that she is that expert? So of course, if I don't have the resiliency, my emotional will be down.
Of course.
Yeah, my emotional will be down. So my advice to whoever out there, especially the youngsters, be resilient, be strong.
Right. Because being a Gen
Whatever
Z
information comes in, just get it out.
Exactly. Yeah. Being a Gen Z myself, I think it's like we are always like overexposed to content and like let's say contents related to bullying, and when you see one thing for like many times, you're always like in your head it's already like wired.
Yeah.
Like I see
Yes.
horror movies,
Yeah.
I know it's scary and it's like continuously on the loop in my head. So,
So it will affect you.
yeah, it affects me.
And when you said about Gen Z, sorry, just to cut off, when you talk about Gen Z, I'm baby bloomers, okay? Not to say that I'm baby, but I'm from the baby bloomers generation. Now, Gen Z generation, one of the other factors is also because of sometimes the youngsters need to be strong. And
Yeah.
when they have to be strong, it has to come from the upbringing, the way the parenting should happen. So currently, I think minority of the parents out there, they practice helicopter parenting. And when they practice helicopter parenting, they will get the strawberry generation. So what happened? Strawberry generation. Perhaps you know what is the strawberry generation?
It's
Never mind, I will explain.
okay, sure.
Normally in class I will do that. I'll question and I will answer. Now
Very
strawberry,
rhetorical.
when you look outside, is very beautiful,
Yeah.
fresh. But accidentally you just poke on with anything, it will just smash like that.
Yeah. So it's also soft.
It's very, very soft. So that is called strawberry generation. And what is helicopter parenting? The same goes to institution. Avoid doing this helicopter parenting where we really monitor in and out, left and right, up and down. No. We should be able to give the students the experience to make sure that they are on the right platform. Not to say that we have to do the ragging, but to give them some work where they have to find on their own. So this is where sometimes ragging will lead to this bullying. Because some of them, they feel insecure. Seniors feel insecure. And because of there is no empathy, it will lead to the intentional and also repeated aggressive behavior.
Yes.
Whether it is physical, whether it is social, or whether it is emotional. And I think that is the definition for this bully. So there is a difference between ragging and bully. We can take ragging as a tradition, but it could be a toxic tradition or a very conducive environment for tradition. But what is bullying? It's an intentional. It's of how one can be satisfied if the other party had the consequence expected by whoever is doing it to them. It's just if I were to ask you, have you been bullied before?
I'll be like, yes. Yeah, but then you mentioned it like tradition, right? Like as in a practice.
Yeah.
So if it's like a tradition and practice, because when I went through it, I remember this one time I said my mom, because when I'm like so young, and I don't think so back then there was like this very exposure concept of like seeing content or learning something from it, which now it does exist. But back then my only source of hope was my mother. So when I said to my mother like, mom, I'm experiencing this sort of stuff, it started with ragging, and now I'm still going through it and I don't know what to do. And then she just told me, just tahan, it happens. And this whole concept of normalizing, it's almost like acceptance.
Yeah.
What is your take on that?
It depends on how serious will be the practices so-called under ragging. Yeah, because if it is too serious, then I think it is no more ragging, because it may really affect one's emotional, physical, and also mental, and that is already, if it is repeatedly done, that is not ragging. I think I told you, we discussed earlier in this session that it is a tradition,
It is.
or I would say that it is a yearly activity. It's just like annual general meeting, AGM. It's just like AGM. This is ragging. You will have it early of the year, the moment you enter the any institution. Now, I remember you said before, when you enter Sagi University, we do not have that practices, because
it
we
was very
don't.
comfortable.
Yes, we do not practice ragging, right? Now, what happened is that perhaps Sagi, quite a number of the students are international students, right?
Yeah.
But for a Malaysian like boarding school, of course, ragging is always there. But somehow or rather, currently, many cases had happened that it's no more ragging. It is more of a bullying.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it is more of a bullying, and it has got to stop. Yeah, it has got to
Yes.
stop. I appeared in one TV program about this bullying. Okay, so what is the most important part for bullying? And I said, it's the awareness. Whose awareness? Everybody awareness. It's the
Yes.
principal awareness. It's the warden awareness. It's also the Ministry of Education, wherever you are. It's their awareness. It has got to be stopped if ragging leads to bullying. So it depends on the premier or the institution whether ragging is allowed, because we know that it is a yearly activity.
Right.
But somehow or other, people change, environment change. Now we are with the IT. You are from Gen Z. I am from baby boomers. So our environment is different, okay? Of course,
Yes.
let's say you are in the situation where you were in my time, baby bloomers, and I am in yours. Ragging takes place. Bullying takes place. It's far too different. So perhaps we have to stop ragging, especially in any university or colleges, if, let's say, we can see that the criteria of ragging practices in any institution looks like it is no more harmless, but it is very harmful. And
Right.
if it is repeatedly done, then it is bullying.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a long term
Yeah.
situation. So, this is where it gets really interesting, because I really wanted to ask you this. Like, I think for anybody who's gone through it or looking forward to something that is related to ragging would have this question. Do you think there is a hope of putting an end or like diminishing this whole ragging culture or tradition, you may say?
I would say there is a hope, one, and I would say there is no hope. Why there is a hope? We have all the regulation provided by the institution. Of course, boarding school ragging have to take place so that the junior respect the senior, and it is a way of welcoming people. As I said before, it is not a way. Respect is the only way to welcome people, and not humiliation.
Right.
Okay?
I agree. Yes.
Okay? So, whoever up there must have the guideline. This is what needs to be done when ragging activity or ragging practices takes place. Okay? There is a hope. But there is no hope if everything just go back to the senior association group. Okay, this is what we will do. The principal said, do whatever you like as long as they respect you. Of course. So it has to be with good monitoring, good reinforcement. If we do not have all this and we do not have the awareness from the top level, then there is no hope.
Yeah, it's
No
almost
point for
useless.
us talking here about do this, do that, do this. Because everything, it depends on whoever is within that institution. And I believe you did not go through the ragging, whatever it is, because we have the policy, because we do not practice that. I like to just take this phrase, maybe proverb, I don't know whether what it is. What comes around goes around.
Karma. Yeah.
Karma. If you are the senior doing something to your junior, the junior will become senior
And then do it.
and then do it to the next one.
Yeah.
If I can survive, you people can survive.
But again, there are people where it's like they do get lucky with good seniors. Like they are breaking some generational bridge.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody is that evil, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them, they really like to protect the juniors. Yeah, that happens. But because I say we are human being, everything is not perfect. Okay, if I would say that I'm perfect, I'm not perfect. I cannot say that you are perfect either, or you may be perfect as well. You will not do dragging or you will not do these practices to your junior because you have not gone through that situation. But what happened? You have gone through that situation. Perhaps you may do it. There is a hope if there is regulation from the top. There is no hope. Regulation is there, but everything is on your own. There is no reinforcement. There is no monitoring whatsoever. So, ragging is ragging and it may turn to bullying.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree because it's like almost everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah.
So it depends on the top authorities because, I mean, if it was same everywhere, I would have faced it in Segi, but I didn't because Segi has their management looking after
To
that. So,
monitor.
yes, to
Yes,
monitor.
correct.
So, if I were to ask you an advice, like in terms of what would be your advice in general, not just to students or parents, but to the society as a whole about the ragging turning into outright bullying? What's your take, your advice?
My take is that we are now not in 1960s, we are not in 1970s. We are in the, not even millennium. Is it millennium year? No.
No, it's not.
So everybody is very selfish. Everyone is selfish. Okay, if let's say if I were to say something to you, maybe I happen to meet you anywhere and you did something wrong, I may say to you, Humaira, please do not do this. It's not good for Sagi. For example,
But I'm
then,
out of Segi.
then you might say, yeah, this is not good for Sagi. But you hold the image of Sagi, let's say, for example, yeah?
Yes.
And then you might say, it's none of your business.
Yeah.
I say, yes, it's none of my business. So this is called the selfishness. So if everyone has that selfishness, if everyone does not have the awareness, even with the good procedure about ragging and bullying, then I think it will still happen. So session like this is very important because we have to make this as a campaign to make sure that, look, there shouldn't be any bullying and there shouldn't be any ragging.
Basically to spread awareness.
Yes, just spread awareness. It's just like a campaign, right?
Yes.
If, let's say, in Malaysia we have how many channels of TV program? So perhaps Sagi, this session might be one of the TV program so that everybody else can just look at it, learn from it, because no one will take a book and read. But if with a good session like this, okay, it's not it's really not a praising, but this is a very good session where it
I
needs to be
appreciate that.
continued.
Yes.
Yeah, it needs to be
Yeah.
continued because the only platform to give awareness to people outside there, students, staff, superiors, whoever out there. We should inform them that, look, everybody of us must have empathy.
Right.
Without empathy,
Nothing is possible.
ragging will turn into bullying.
It will. Yes.
Bullying will get even worse, and the consequence is that it will not really a good thing for institution like wherever we are. Now we are in SEGI. It is something not good for SEGI. Even if a staff say, I'm being bullied, it depends on the situation. If it is a repeated event, aggressive behavior, and if it is a repeated perhaps misconduct from the staff or even from the student, we cannot say that it is a bullying, or we can't even say that it is, of course, not a ragging, because ragging, the terminology is meant to welcome student,
Not to degrade.
newcomers. However, bullying, if I may repeat again, is an intentional, repeated, aggressive behavior whereby whoever is doing the bullying, they get all the satisfaction.
Yes.
Because of no empathy. It's not lack of empathy, no empathy at all.
And it is also the intent. Like, for instance, there can be contents out there which normalize things like, oh, it's a story, an experience that we're sharing. But again, here's us, where we're having a conversation, and it's the intention where this would really inspire people out there watching that, yeah, we could handle things in Prof's way, what Prof said, because that makes so much sense. So I think this was a very insightful conversation, and personally, with someone with my background who has gone through it in my earlier years in school, I think I really needed to hear this from you, and I'm so glad to have had this conversation with you. Thank you so much, Prof.
Perhaps my last say, as you said, it's very insightful,
Yes.
but maybe not for everyone. Not for everyone. But what I'm trying to say is that in this world, you must have empathy. You must have awareness, whereby we must have the social quotient, we must have the emotional quotient, we must have the multiple intelligence, and we must have a high IQ as well. Together with resiliency, I think we can become a better community, not only within the institution, but when you go out of the institution. So again, thank you very much again, Humaira,
Thank you so much, Prof.
for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prof. I'm sure people will have a lot to take from our conversation today,
Sure.
be it students or parents. And to everyone watching us today, I would like to say, of course, everything that seems like tradition might not always be right. And this is Out of the Box with Humaira, hashtag OOTV. Until then, take care of yourself and take care of each other.
The things that I regret so much, because every time I'm at volleyball training, this girl will always make an active effort to exclude me every time we trained. Like, I had this one friend in the training that we were quite close, and she would always try to talk with me and all that. But the girl that I was talking about, right, she would purposely call over this girl, so I was alone by myself picking up the balls while they were playing. And
They were
like,
not making you feeling like included.
Yeah, and it makes it worse because they were all speaking Mandarin and I can't speak Mandarin.
Okay.
So like, they will all laugh, and then sometimes I would see them point at me and all that, and I felt excluded, and I felt like they were talking bad about me. But there's this one time where I told them that I couldn't make it to training because I had to go to my dad's house.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, since my dad's house is all the way in Ampang, it's quite far from where we usually trained.
Yeah.
So I told them like, oh, I just can't make it. And I saw the text. She made fun of me, saying like, oh, is it my problem that you can't come to training? Like, you should find it and find a solution yourself. Like, oh, it's not my fault that your parents are divorced. And then she was like, oh, that's too far. Oh, like the friend that she was renting to said, oh, that's too far, you shouldn't be making fun of their parents. But she said, do I look like I care? Oh, she's such an attention seeker and a pick me. This is why I don't like her, man. Like, every guy wants to talk to her, blah blah blah, and started calling me, oh, maybe that's why her parents divorced. That's because she's such an attention seeker.